Hi, it's Leslie Fightmaster. I am so excited about this video because it's my first time doing a collaboration with another YouTuber. I'm working with Nikki from HealthnutNutrition, and we put videos together. I really encourage you to go to HealthnutNutrition and check out Nikki's videos. There will be a link below that you can click on to see the video that we worked on together. But go to her channel, and I really encourage you to check out her videos, like them, subscribe to her channel. She has wonderful tips about how to stay healthy, not only what to eat and exercise, but healthy makeup tips and using products that are cruelty-free, that are organic, that are good for your skin, all kinds of things. So the video today that she put together is what's in your yoga bag, so we can look at different types of props that we use when we practice yoga. The video that I did today is yoga for office workers. Nikki also works in an office, and I have had other requests for a video that helps people that work in the office, because I know you guys have to sit a lot. I used to work in an office. The back gets sore, the hips get tight. So this will address all of that and help you to stretch out after your long day at the office. So please check it out. And one other thing, I'm using a special yoga mat that I really love and I want to tell you about. It's from Lifeform. It's LIFORME.com. There's a link below as well. And I love this mat because they use something that's called the Align for Me system. And it helps to keep my body in great alignment so that when I practice my poses, I'm practicing as safely as I can. So I would encourage you to check it out. And another great thing, if you do sweaty practices, you won't slide, which is great. So check that out. If you do want to pick up a mat from Lifeform, go to their website and use the code for a special discount. You'll type in my name, Leslie, Lesley, Fightmaster, FIGHTMASTER, and put that into the code and you'll get a special discount. So anyone who watches this can use that. And I hope you enjoy the video. Again, go check out Nikki. There's links below, and enjoy your practice. Namaste. Hi, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and today's class is yoga for office workers. I had a few requests for it from one from Ilse, one from Jade Lightning Wolf, and one from Shape Your Mind from Portugal. So I'm showing you my mat that I'm using today. This is from Lifeform, and I really love this mat because it has alignment points on it. They call it the Align for Me system. So it can show like the line down the middle. I can line up my front heel and my back arch, and I can line up my hands and my feet very easily on the mat. And we're going to begin lying down with the feet hips width apart and your heels just in front of the knees. And one more thing about the mat. Even if I get really sweaty, it doesn't slide. So I don't need a towel because I don't slip. Okay, so beginning our class. This position with the legs at about a 90-degree bend is good for people who sit a lot in chairs. What happens when we sit in chairs is that our hip flexors get very tight. That's how the leg attaches to the torso. And that area gets very tight over time sitting. So this particular shape with the legs, that 90-degree bend, helps to soften and open up the hip flexors. So if you have 10 minutes a day to spend in this position, it will really start to make a difference over like maybe the course of a month. So I have a strap here, and I'm going to put the strap around the ball of my right foot as I extend the right leg up, and this will start to stretch out the hamstrings, which also get tight from sitting. So if you don't happen to have a strap, you could use a towel or a belt or even a tie, as long as it's not like a really good tie. And just extend your right leg up. As you extend it up, try and drop your right hip toward the front of your mat, and then extend out through your left leg as well. And take a few long breaths. Maybe your leg won't straighten out the whole way. It doesn't matter. Just let it straighten as much as you can so that you feel a stretch. So as long as you feel a stretch, then that's always enough. And then as you exhale, we're going to open the leg to the right side, but keep your right hand on your right hip and thigh to keep the hip from popping up off the floor. If the hip comes off the floor, go less into the stretch, re-ground it down, and just take it as far as you can comfortably with that left hip grounding down. Look over the left shoulder, so you don't want to lift the hip. Look over the left shoulder, stretch out your neck. If your foot happens to be close to the floor, start to pull it toward the wall behind you. Take nice steady breaths in and out through your nose. And just double check you don't have any tension in the shoulders or the jaw. On your inhale, make your way back to center, then switch hands with your strap, and exhale, take the leg off to the left side. And if it does happen to touch the floor, don't let it touch the floor. Just choke up on your strap a little bit, extend it toward the back wall. So as you take this twist, your right shoulder blade is reaching down toward the floor. Hopefully it stays on the floor. The shoulder head might come up, but try to keep the upper back grounded down. And look over the right shoulder as you breathe here. Again, nice, long, steady inhales and exhales through your nose. If you breathe through your nose, it helps to slow down the breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders and reach your head toward your leg. And then release. Now, extend your right leg next to the left leg and notice the difference. Feels a little longer than the left leg. So we stretched it out. Now we'll do the left. So extend the left leg up, put the strap on the ball of the left foot, and see how I'm pressing my hip toward the front of the mat so that my hips are level. And I'm choking up on the strap quite a bit just because I have the flexibility at the moment, but if I didn't, I would hold the strap lower away from me. And sometimes when I first started doing this pose, I bent my knee a little bit. So don't even worry about, actually, I think I bent my knee a lot. So don't worry if you aren't able to straighten out the leg. Just again, like I said, as long as you have a stretch, that's all that matters. Make sure as you hold the left leg that you're not getting any tension in your neck or in the shoulders. And then you continue some nice, long, steady breaths. So if you are an office worker, let's see, on your next exhale, we'll open the leg to the left, looking right. Remember to keep your right hip grounded down. So if you do spend a lot of time sitting and working in an office, that is the shape your body starts to become accustomed to. So it compresses the low back, it tightens the hamstrings. Many times we are rounded in the upper back as we're working over our keyboards, or if we're reading, or even while we're driving. The shoulder heads start to round forward, the upper back starts to round. So inhale the leg back to center, switch hands with your strap. Exhale, take it over to the right, and keep grounding the left shoulder blade down as you look over the left shoulder. So it's very important to stretch if you spend that much time in a chair. Thinking about it this way, if you spend 40 hours a week sitting, you can think about what that does to your body, and imagine what your body would be like if you did 40 hours a week in downward facing dog pose. So imagine 40 hours a week in downward dog. Your spine would be nice and long, your hamstrings would be stretched, your legs would be toned, your arms and shoulders toned. So bring the leg back to center as you exhale, lift the head and shoulders for one more stretch. And then we'll release the leg. And extend the left leg next to the right. Both legs are the same length. Inhale, arms overhead and stretch. Now to let your low back lift off the floor though. So reach your tailbone toward your heels and draw your shoulder blades towards your waist. And then hug your knees in your chest and roll a little bit side to side. Roll off to your right side, press your left hand into the floor to make your way up to seated, and we'll just cross at the shins and sit up nice and tall. See how my back just rounded like that? If you feel like your back is rounding that way, get a blanket or a towel and roll it up so that it's a little bit higher than just flat. You have maybe an inch or so, and sit right on the edge. Get your strap or your towel or whatever you're using and have it handy. Inhale the arms up, spin the triceps toward each other, face your palms toward one another. Draw the shoulder blades down the back and just stretch up. And I'm just lengthening the spine. And then we'll exhale and reach over toward the right side with the left arm in line with the ear. And again, looking up toward the arm just so that I can get some movement in the neck. Draw your right shoulder away from your ear as you do it. Inhale up through center. Exhale, taking the left side down. So my left elbow can bend. Yours can stay straight or bend, whatever works. And we'll stretch the right arm. Yeah, watch that left shoulder up by the ear. Make sure it's still drawing away from the ear. If you want to rest down on your forearm, you may. Inhale, reach your arms back up to center, stretch, and then as you exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, lengthen up tall, and then exhale, twist. So you're rolling the right shoulder, the left shoulder open as you twist. Every time you inhale, sit up tall. When you exhale, twist. Come back to center, lengthen up. Exhale, left hand to knee, right hand behind. Inhale, lengthen tall. And exhale, twist. Whenever you're taking twists, we want to make sure the spine is aligned first before twisting. Then grab your strap and take it nice and wide. As you inhale, lift your arms overhead, and as you exhale, take the arms all the way back. So you're stretching the chest open a lot. Inhale, the arms up, exhale, down. So you might need to make the strap longer in your hands or shorter depending on how much stretch you're looking for. Inhale, up and back. So this is a nice chest opener. Again, how we hunch a lot when we're sitting. Inhale, bring it up, exhale, take it down. And that is to help with that hunching of the upper back. Inhale, reach up, open, stretch the chest open, take it back down, exhale, and inhale. Again, lifting up. So nice stretch, exhale, and take it down. You can put your strap off to the side and take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Then take your right hand, just let it rest on the head. Reach your left arm out, flex your wrist. So you should feel a stretch all the way down the left side of your neck, even into your arm and shoulder. And I'm not pulling my head with the right hand, I'm just giving it a little weight. Inhale back to center, exhale, left ear toward left shoulder. I'm going to take the left hand, just rest it on the head for a little extra weight. Extend the right arm out, flex the wrist. Lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades down. Continue breathing, steady in and out through the nose. Inhale through center and coming right onto hands and knees. So I have my knees on a blanket. If you don't need the extra padding, you can move your blanket off to the side. If you want extra padding for the knees, keep your blanket or your towel there. Now line up your wrists under your shoulders, knees under the hips. I have my little lines on my mat so I can make sure my wrist creases are right where they should be, parallel with the front of the mat. Inhale, heart forward, lift chin, lift tailbone. Exhale, round your upper back, pull the belly and ribs in. Again, inhale to come forward. Bring your chest forward. Exhale, round your back, lift your chin in, lift your belly and your rib cage in. Inhale, come forward, getting length in the front of the body. And exhale, press into the floor, pressing away from the floor as you dome the upper back like a Halloween cat. Inhale again, coming forward, drawing the shoulder blades back toward the waist, and exhale. Pull your belly in strongly as you push away from the floor, and then take your hips back toward your heels for a child's pose. You can rest your head on the mat or rest your head on your hands. If your hips don't reach back to your heels, grab your blanket or your towel and put it between your calves and the backs of your thighs. Come back up into table. And then step your right foot up by your right hand, making sure that your right knee is over your ankle. I have my fingertips on the floor. If they don't reach easily, you can rest them on your ankle. Now keep the left hand down, reach the right arm up. If your left hand doesn't reach the floor, you can put it on a block. I'm going to show that in a moment. Then bring your hands up to your knee. Pull your right hip back and start to sink the hips forward. This is another stretch for the hip flexor. So the side on the left side, you should feel a big stretch. So inhale, come out of it, and then exhale, sink in. But keep your belly lifted and keep the knee over the ankle. Inhale, backing out, pull the right hip back. Exhale and sink in a little bit deeper. You can keep the hands on the thigh or reach up through the arms, spinning the triceps toward each other. That's definitely a stronger stretch. And then we'll release back to table. So now I'm going to have my block handy. And left foot forward into the low lunge. So again, if I can't reach the floor, I could put my block right behind my left ankle even and keep it there. So now this time I have my right hand on the block and I'll turn to reach up through the left fingertips for a nice twist. Pulling the belly in as I widen across the collarbones and twist. So coming back to center. Block is off the mat. I don't need it right now. So we'll inhale, come up knee over ankle, pull the belly in, pull the left hip back, and draw the tailbone toward the floor. As you exhale, start to sink forward, again getting that nice stretch in the right hip flexor. Inhale, back out of the pose. Exhale and press in. Keep the front ribs pulling in. Inhale, backing up. Exhale and sink in, and option to lift the arms up, spinning the triceps in toward each other. Keep the belly lifted and exhale the hands back down and back to table position. And again to child's pose, this time with the arms extended in front of you. Spread your fingers wide. Try to spin your inner arms, your biceps up toward the ceiling. So now back to table, so you can spin the inner arms slightly forward. Now you want that rotation in the arms as you slowly lift up your hips toward downward facing dog, but keep your knees bent. So of course your inner elbows are not going to face the front of the mat in down dog, but think as if they could. Now reach your right heel toward the floor, keep the left knee bent, and both knees again, and then switch. Left heel down, right knee is bent, and switch. So you're bicycling through the legs, again stretching out the hamstrings. Now, in a moment, we'll take the legs, so bend both knees, bring your belly to your thighs, try to stretch out your spine, and then take your heels toward the floor. If your legs don't straighten out, keep a little bend. If you've got a lot of discomfort in your hamstrings, just bend the knees a little. Look to your hands, walk your feet all the way up to the hands. On your inhale, bring your hands to your shins, make a flat back, pull in your belly. As you exhale, fold over the legs, shift your weight slightly forward. You can bend the knees as needed here. Eventually, we'll try and straighten them. Inhale, reach all the way up, stretching up, and exhale, bring your hands to your heart in Samastitihi. So come to the front of your mat. Take your big toes together and your heels slightly apart, or take your feet hips width apart if that is more steady. Then firm your leg muscles, press down evenly into the feet, big toes, little toes, inner outer heels, lift your belly, drop your tailbone down. Spin your inner thighs back like you've got a block that you're squeezing, and then lift the belly, tailbone drops. Open up the chest, so widen across the collarbones. Bring the shoulders up, back, down, and then just let them soften a bit. Imagine there's a string attached to your chest and it's lifting, and another one at the crown of your head that's lifting, but keep the chin parallel with the floor. I'm reaching my fingertips toward the floor, but I'm keeping the chest lifted. Now all the bones stack on top of each other. On your inhale, keep all of that and reach your arms up. Try not to arch the back. Don't bring the ribs out. Try to keep the ribs in, the tailbone long. Keep stretching up, not to open the chest too much. And then exhale, the arms back down. And inhale again, palms face up as you reach up. Try not to take your shoulders right up by your ears, but soften the shoulder blades down toward the waist. So you're stretching up, but not crunching around the neck. Exhale, arms back down. Inhale. We're going to fold forward, and when we do, we're going to hinge from the hips. So see where I'm pointing? Right at the tops of the thighs. So the hips are going to go back as we come forward. We don't want to do this. Don't round down, trying to get far. We don't want to bend from the waist. We always want to hinge from the hips. So now we'll inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, hinge from the hips and come forward any amount. Let your head hang here, hips shift over heels. Inhale, make a flat back, fingertips to floor or hands to shins. And as you exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms. Step your right foot way back, and then step your left foot way back into downward facing dog pose. So stretching out. This is a wonderful pose after you've been sitting a lot because it stretches out your spine. There's no compression in the low back in this pose. Look to your hands and come forward into plank, the top of a push-up. Lift your belly, lift the backs of the knees, and then drop your knees to the floor. And shift your shoulders forward about an inch. Keep your belly lifted and lower down, bending your elbows back. Try to touch down everything at once so that you're not arching the back down. Now inhale, little arch in the upper back cobra. This is another great pose for the upper back, especially if you tend to hunch and round. Exhale, press to the knees, and then lift up and back again to downward facing dog. In down dog, we want the feet hips width apart and the arms, shoulders distance apart. Press into the base of your fingers as you lift up through your forearms in your hands. Look forward, bend the knees, stepping, or if you hop, you could hop. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, flat back. Exhale, fold in, hips over heels again. Inhale, root through the feet, reach all the way up and stretch. Exhale, and hands to heart. Inhale again, reach the arms up, drop the tailbone toward the heels. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold with a long spine. Inhale, halfway up, pull the shoulder blades toward the waist, keep the ribs in. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step your left foot way back and step your right foot back and then come right to plank. Knees down, shift forward, hug your elbows into your sides as you lower all the way. Untuck your toes on your inhale. Again, a baby cobra. Pull the shoulders down toward the waist. If you want to come up higher, you're welcome to, but keep your belly pulled in and your tailbone reaching back. Exhale to the knees, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So as you press into the base of the fingers and you lift up through your forearms, try to spin your triceps back and your biceps forward. Look to the hands, step your feet up, look up, lengthen on your inhale. Exhale, fold, and inhale. Bring your hands to hips, come up with a little bend in the knees, with a flat back all the way up to standing. Take a quarter turn to your right. Turn your right leg all the way out and your back toes in slightly. Inhale your arms to a T, and then exhale, bend your right knee over your ankle for warrior two pose. This is a nice pose to open up the hips because, again, from sitting, they get tight. Make sure your right knee is over your ankle and in line with your second toe. As you inhale, you'll straighten the leg and reach the arms up, and then as you exhale, bend in again. Do that a couple of times. Inhale, reach up, straighten your leg. Exhale, bend in maybe a little deeper, dropping your front hip down toward the floor. Inhale, arms reaching up, shoulder blades soften. Exhale, knee over ankle. Lift the chest. Inhale, reverse warrior. Drop your left arm and make a side stretch. Coming all the way up, left leg turning out, back toes in. See how my feet are lined up heel to arch? You can totally see that on the mat. And exhale, knee over ankle. Good, making sure that it's lined up and your knee is in line with your second toe. And press your back thigh back. Your back inner thigh can spin up slightly toward the ceiling. Draw your ribs and belly in. Inhale. Straighten the front leg, arms reach. Exhale and bend in, knee over ankle, double checking. Inhale, straighten the leg, reaching up. Exhale, sink in, maybe a little bit deeper every time. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, bend in. So you go to the edge that's good for you. Drop your right arm to reverse, side stretching, draw the shoulder blades down toward the waist. Inhale, back into center and straighten the leg. And we'll come back to the front of the mat. I'm going to have my block handy. I'm going to turn toward the other side of the mat and take the feet out, about 4 feet. So if you take your arms to a T, your wrists would be right above your ankles. Toes point in slightly. Inhale, lengthen, exhale to fold. Then if your hands don't reach the floor, I've got my hands on the block. So keep your left hand down, reach your right arm up for a twist. And inhale, get nice and long here. And if you don't need the block, you can take the hand to the floor. And if you want a deeper twist, take your hand closer toward your foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Right hand down, exhale, left arm is up. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. And if you want a deeper twist, your right hand over towards your left foot for a deeper twist, but then pull the right hip back if you're going deeper. Inhale again, make a nice flat back. Exhale and fold forward any amount. So maybe your head can rest on the block as you take your forward fold. Maybe you'll need your hands on the block. Maybe you'll get real deep and the head comes down. It doesn't matter how deep you go, just get a stretch. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bring your hands to hips and inhale all the way back to center. And then I'm going to clasp the hands behind my back just so that you can see that. If that's going to be too much on your shoulders, maybe your shoulders are a little bit tight, you're going to hold on to your strap like I have now. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale and fold in. So this way you'll get a bigger stretch in the shoulders. If you're clasping the hands and your arms don't move at all, definitely use a strap or a towel. Squeeze the outer hips, squeeze the inner thighs toward each other. My toes are pointed in slightly. I've got my little lines on the mat that I can use to make sure my feet are parallel. Inhale, all the way back up. And let's put the strap off to the side, put the block off to the side, but make sure you can find it as we come down to the floor. Feet hips width apart, taking bridge pose. So I've got my little markers. I've got my heels on these little kind of diamond shapes, and I've got my toes lined up with the little lines in front. That's the nice thing, is you can just line up for you. So inhale, lift into bridge. Exhale, lower. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are parallel. Pull your belly in, press into the heels. Inhale, lift. Reach your tailbone toward the backs of your knees. Keep your chin away from the chest. Exhale, lower. This is a really good way, again, to open the front of the body and counter all of that rounding and doming of the upper back. Inhale, lift up. This time, I've got my block between the thighs so that my thighs can spin the correct alignment. So the inner thighs spin toward each other. If you don't have a block, pretend like you've got one there, and keep reaching the tailbone toward the backs of the knees. We're not clenching the whole buns, the gluteus maximus, but you are pinning the outer hips in. So the medius and the minimus pin in towards center if you know what those muscles are. And if you don't, just don't clench your whole buns. Squeeze the outer hips in. And then I'm taking the block right to the base of the spine. So it's not on my buns and it's not right on the low back. It's right in the middle. There's a bone called the sacrum right on your pelvis, and that's where you want the block to be. So you'll know if it's not in the right place because it won't feel good. So kind of play around with it until you get it into that proper position. And then once you're there, keep your chin away from your chest and breathe. And again, another way to open the chest. Now, we're going to lift both legs up. So make sure with the block under your low back that it's not at the highest level. It's either the lowest or the mid-level. Because when it's at the highest, sometimes it wants to knock over when you lift the legs, and you don't want that. So I'm lifting the legs because gravity pulls all of that weight toward the heels and the calves and the feet and the ankles. So we're changing the flow of gravity, and this actually helps to elicit the relaxation response in the body. Slowly release, lift off the block, come on down, and then hug the knees into the chest. Rock a bit side to side. Let's give your low back a little massage. Roll to your right. Press your left hand into the floor, coming up safely. And then reach for the strap, so you want it handy. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall with the legs in front of me, and I'm pulling the toes back. However, if I don't feel like I'm sitting up tall, so if the back rounds or if the hips come a little bit forward, grab that blanket or the towel and sit right on the edge of it to lengthen your spine. And then lift your chest, draw your shoulder blades slightly in toward each other, and pull the toes back to firm the legs. It doesn't look like much, but if you sit there for a few minutes, you definitely feel the work of that pose. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, we're coming forward, leading with the heart, so you can hold on to your strap. Keep your spine very long. So again, because we round so much during the day when we're sitting, typing, driving, we want to avoid the rounded upper back. So don't worry about getting your head down to your legs. Doesn't matter. Reach the crown of the head forward and lead with your chest, with your heart, and extend your belly over the thighs. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, release. Putting the strap back off to the side, move the blanket off to the side, and lie down on your back. Take your right ankle just above your left knee for thread the needle. Bring your hands through to hold on either your left thigh or your shin. Sometimes if you can't reach, you can also use the strap and just loop it around your left shin and hold it in your hand. And then pull the right toes back. So we're stretching the hips. Again, the hips get very tight from sitting, so you should feel a nice stretch in the right hip. Make sure you're not carrying any tension around the neck or shoulders. Release. And switch. Left ankle above right knee. Bring your hands through, holding the shin or the thigh, or use your strap. Pull your left toes back. And just keep drawing the legs in toward the chest. The more you pull the legs in toward the chest, the bigger stretch you will feel on your hip. And let's release that. Arms to a T. We'll take the knees off to the left as we look over the right shoulder. Little spinal twist. And it's very good for the health of the spine to twist. As long as the spine is in alignment first, you can twist. Inhale, knees to center. And exhale, take them to the right and turn to look over the left shoulder. Incidentally, if you have neck issues and it bothers your head to turn and look, then don't. Just keep the head to center. Steady breath. Inhale, make your way to center. If you have any issues with the low back, or maybe you just kind of feel a little bit stress in the low back at all, roll up your blanket or your towel and put it under your knees. And then if you don't have one, you can just have the legs extend out straight. Let your feet flop open to the sides. Bring your arms by your sides with your palms faced up. And draw your shoulder blades down toward your waist. Let your head just be heavy in the floor. If your chin is higher than your forehead, sometimes tightness in the neck and shoulders will cause it, you'll take your blanket or your towel and just put it right underneath the back of your head so that your forehead and your chin are in the same line. And now just relax. Allow your legs to be heavy. Allow your hips to sink into the floor. Allow your back to just connect deeply with the earth, the floor. Allow your shoulder blades to soften away from your ears. Let your shoulder heads be nice and heavy, like someone's gently pressing them. And just natural breathing for a couple minutes. Start to make some movements in your fingers, toes, and hands and feet, your arms and legs. So our quote today is from Rumi. You know I love Rumi. He said, "Everyone has been made for some particular work, and the desire for that work has been put into every heart." So rolling off to the side, press yourself up carefully, cross at your shins, hands to heart center. Take a moment here honoring, respecting yourself, all of the wonderful things that make you who you are. And bring the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. And hands to our heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Thank you so much. Namaste. Please push the like button if you like the video, subscribe. Please make a donation if you can afford it. And if you can't, then tell a friend about these videos so we can spread free yoga. Thank you. Namaste. Well, I hope you liked the videos. I hope you went over to HealthnutNutrition and checked Nikki's video. Again, if you didn't yet, there's a link below. Go and see. And After seeing my mat in action, if you do want to pick one up, go to lifeform.com, LIFORME, and again, a link below. So if you want to take advantage of your special discount, just type the code, my name, Leslie, Lesley, Fightmaster, FIGHTMASTER, and you can get your special discount. If you liked this video, please push the like button. Please comment if there are other videos you would like to see. And if you go over to Nikki, and I really encourage you to go to HealthnutNutrition, like and comment, and please tell her I sent you so that she knows that we're working together. And namaste, have a wonderful day, and see you next time. Bye.